Hi YouTube, this is Whiteout from Team Shadowburst coming to you today. We went to our locals as a team of 5 out of 7 members today, and I just wanted to profile my Twilight deck that I took to locals. It was actually my first tournament that I tested it in, and it went 2 for 2. It wasn't bad. I actually got knocked out by Frog Monarchs, which was kind of disappointing, but you know, I have revamped it since then, so let's get the profile underway, and then, you know, just comment, rate, subscribe on what you think. First off, we'll start off with 2 judgments, standard in any Twilight deck. Most people are running 3. I choose only 2 because I only feel a necessity for 2. 3 is a bit of an overkill, especially with cards like Beckoning Light and Herald Creation and stuff like that to bring it back. Next, an old favorite, back to this format, Black vs. Soldier. Very good, especially with his double attacking and his removing ability. Shuts down a lot of people, and X-Sabers especially. So I'm very happy with him. Next card, Jane the Paladin. I only run 1 Jane. Some people take 2. I only do 1 just because I only really have a need for 1. I like heavy millers in my Light Sworn, so because he's only 2, I only use 1 of them. Aaron, I do have 1 in the side deck, but very happy with him, or her. Sorry, transgender. But she actually performed very good. She actually did save me in one of those against the Frog Monarch, even though I lost the match. Keep putting the frogs back in the deck, so it's a very good card. Arcus, another card that helped me against X-Sabers and other stuff, especially with the X-Saber deck with the bottomlesses and D prisons. It helps save most of my Light Sworns so they can keep on milling. Very happy with him as well. Standard in any Twilight deck or Light Sworn, Lumina. Wish it was at 2, but it's only at 1. Still a good card, you know, allows me to drop all my darks that I don't want in my hand and recycle some of my Light Sworns. Right now, I'm only running 1 Lumina. Lila, sorry, Lila. Lila is a good heavy miller, and its effect, you know, to pop 1 backfield on a turn, once per turn, is actually pretty good. I'm happy with it just at 1, so I'll probably keep it there for a while. Alright. 1 Shire, Fairy, or Light Sworn Spirit, Fairy type, very good for each different Light Sworn in the graveyard. You get 300, and it's a 2 miller, so I've actually had this thing pumped up to 25 today, and it ran over quite a few cards and OTK'd somebody. So, it was actually pretty good. Next we have 2 Rikers. Some people run 3. I choose only 2 because I only really need 2. With the darks in the deck, that's all you really actually ever need. I'm happy with it at 2. I don't even have a 3rd one on the side, so I'll leave it at that for right now. Next for lights, I have Honest. Shame it's at 1. Wish it was at 2 so I can get, you know, go for that double drop Honest OTK, but can't, so just gotta deal with it at this. But I'm happy with it. 1 Herald of Creation, very good for recycling. Soldier, Judgment, Dad, anything above level 7, and ditch your cards like Neko Gardner and so on and so forth. That's it for the lights. Now we're going on to the darks. Of course, Dad, the other face of the Twilight deck and of any dark deck. Shame it's at 1, but in this build I haven't had a trouble with running into him and Judgment and Soldier in my hand too many times. I've actually managed to get him out on the field more than I thought I would, so I'm happy with him in there. Next we have Gore, Emissary of Darkness, very good for countering you know, an OTK, especially when you have nothing. And the way this deck is set up, it's actually a must-have, and I'm very happy with his performance. Next we have Jinzo, only 1 of them, just to cancel out any back row traps. This deck only has 2 traps in it, so it really doesn't affect it, but it does shut down a lot of my opponents, which I'm happy with. 1 Chaos Sorcerer. If Soldier was gone, I'd be running 2, but with Soldier at 1 right now, I'm actually having only need of 1. And because he's a dark, you know, he offsets Soldier for being the light, which is something not very good. Next, the new addition to the deck, 2 Kaikos. He actually proved to be very useful. When I was facing the Frog Monarchs, I actually faced 2 Monarch decks. One was a Frog Monarch, the other one was an Agent Monarch. The Agent Monarch, I actually managed to get him out, and it stopped it because my opponent couldn't remove my stuff in the graveyard with Soul Aces, and he couldn't remove for Hyperion. which was very useful. If I could have gotten him at the Frog Monarch, then I would have been able to win, but unfortunately, I couldn't pull him, so, you know, as it goes. Next I have 2 Dark Gruffers, very good for getting your darks into the graveyard. Very useful in this deck for graveyard control as far as Dad's concerned. I've actually been able to summon Dad quite a few times just because of him himself, so I'm going to leave it at 2. And next we have 2 Necro Gardeners. Glad is back at 2. Allows this deck for a lot of offensive abilities, and you don't really have to worry about anything. Save you from an OTK, and allows you to control the graveyard for Dad as well. Next we have 2 Battle Faders. These are one of the cards I'm actually trying out. I'm very happy with it because of the fact that I don't have traps. It allows me to save myself from being OTK'd, and I can just come back with Judgment or Soldier or Dad, in some cases all 3, to clear the field and go for an OTK. That's it for the monsters. Now on to the spell and traps. 2 Solar Rechargers. Solar Recharge is a very good card. I'm actually thinking about upping it to 3, but right now I've only been able to find room for 2, and it's actually working pretty good, so I might get a 3rd one and put it inside. We'll see what happens with that. 1 Allure of Darkness. Because it's at 1, it's actually a pretty good card, especially in this deck because of all the darks that you do have. Some of them you don't really need, and you can always put them backward barrel in a different dimension, so it's not a bad card to have. 1 card I've found to be extremely useful in my build, especially is Pot of Avarice. Allows me to recycle all my Light Swords just in case I don't get anything to recycle my high levels. I can at least put them back into the deck and then draw them out, which it actually is a very good thing. Come to find out, I wish I would have ran in the tournament, but I didn't. So, next I have Reinforcement Army. Only 1, but it searches out 6 monsters in the deck, and which is, you know, thinning is always good. You can't really beat that. So, happy with that card. 1 Charge of the Light Brigade. Too bad it's only at 1, but searches out any Light Sworn level 4 or lower, and you get to mill 3, which is always a plus. Next, for defensive and offensive purposes, 3 Enemy Controllers. Enemy Controller is one of those cards that is almost a must-have in any deck nowadays because it's a quick play. It's actually the card that it helped me out in Frog Monarchs, the first duel, because I managed to get his frogs back to the deck with him and Aaron, which was a really good thing. Next, 1 Book of Moon. Quick play, offensive or defensive, just like enemy controller. The only drawback is I can't to control the monsters, but that's alright. I'm happy with it. Foolish Burial, standard in most decks that require graveyards use. Allows me just to send 1 of any in the graveyard, so it helps with Dad, Judgment, or Soldier. 1 Monster Reborn. Soldier can be brought back, you know, when his effect is initiated, so it'd be great. And anything else like Kaiku if he gets destroyed, so that's always a plus. 1 Barrel, Different Dimension. I wish I was running this in the tournament today too, but I couldn't get my hands on 1, and I thought I had 1, but I didn't. It's actually a huge help for rerunning Gardeners and controlling the graveyard flow for Dad and Judgment. So, you know, it will be used next week. 1 Dark Hole, standard destruction in the deck, control of the field. 1 Heavy Storm, back row. Not really, you know, much back row destruction in this deck, but when it does come, I can use this or side out the spaces in the side deck. And last but not least, 2 Beckoning Lights. I was running card destruction in place of this and duality, but I took those out and changed it for these, and it, you know, it allows me to actually recycle Judgment and everything like that, and it's actually really, really useful, come to find out. But anyway, that's my Twilight deck, and I hope you like it. This is version 1. I will be bringing you an update next week after the tournament to see if it actually pulls off. But anyway, this is Whiteout from Team Shadowburst signing out. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. Good night, YouTube.